Cause you just imagine like just waking up, every day, just like going to the beach, like niggas call my phone in the States and be like, hey bro, we need your help out with this multi-billion-dollar play, or the States or the UAE or China or wherever. And a lot of the time, things sound good, but if it's not really aligned with our mission and our vision and our purpose and how we want to spend our time, things usually get weeded out, through the course of time. We really moving with a sense of passion and purpose, and being able to inject capital and infuse the sauce and the strategy into a variety of different entities across asset classes. Man, I'm getting alerts on my phone how the crypto jumping. But that being said, so much bigger than crypto. Decentralized investment banking, from my perspective, is exactly what you're seeing, right? So at the end of the day, we're investing in people, and we're helping people get what they need. And sometimes people have a vision that the ways in which, traditionally in finance, I saw people categorizing it, whether it's like early stage, late stage, seed stage, growth stage, venture capital, private equity, investment banking. Like for us, at the end of the day, I don't really put a restriction on, what I'm getting involved with. It's more so being able to do it in a regulated, compliant way, and respecting the frameworks that exist, but also just underlying we're basically instilling a sense of confidence in people first and foremost, right? And once people had a confidence, and we see that those intangible factors, which lead us to believe that partnering with them is an intelligent thing. Like it really doesn't matter, what they're raising or using capital in order to grow. Now, I think obviously, like from a modeling perspective, there's different people that could provide quantitative and qualitative analysis that's industry or sector specific. But for me, we just want to help empower good people. Actually, the world's most exceptional people, entrepreneurs, families, founders, brands and names. It doesn't necessarily have to be these like super big iconic brands. Often it is, but I got my start. I just want to help my hood. I just want to help like black entrepreneurs in New York City and Jersey. Like the black and brown people, people that's like me that didn't really have a shot. Then, as I advanced, I found other people of all colors, creeds, races, whatever, religions, whatever, that was similarly just trying to get their start. And I'm in an amazing position at this point because I have so many, I don't want to say so many, like it's the biggest network, in the world, but I have some amazing relationships from which I could call upon, and we can pretty much get any type of deal done and raise any amount of money, do anything. And now it's just like being able to vet and identify the type of opportunities that we really want to attach our energy to, because, at the end of the day, there's no all button. For me, there's no all button. Like I'm sleeping, dreaming, waking up in the bathroom, in the shower, like it's all like, the deal. Only time when I'm not in a deal is when I'm in a meditative state. So it's not like a clock in, clock out, like type of role when you're in founder mode or when you're actively engaged on executing deals. Like you have to be like quote unquote manic, schizophrenic, whatever the diagnosis is, like obsessed with the details, like I'm not doing nothing else, like this is my life, so for everybody, I really just, I think like all my little cousins, everybody, back in Jersey, back home, all the little kids around the world, like everybody in Africa that I'm in, Asia, North America, South America, and, when you see me, you gotta see the hope, you gotta see that you can make it, you can definitely make it if you really in line with your true purpose and calling, and you really bringing out, what's in your spirit, what's in your gut, what's in your head, what's in your heart, and most importantly, just like surrendering that vision. The most successful people I know in the world was always about like, I surrendered my vision, right? Because, it's like, even like Jacob wrestled with the Most High. So being able to be connected to the Most High source and whatever, like, religion you get into, that's on you. But for me, I've had to study a variety of different faiths and practices and incorporate a bunch of tools and modalities in order to really open up, enlighten, and refine how I receive and disseminate information. Because at the end of the day, the most valuable commodity on the world is information. And the information that you have is really shaping your decisions, whether it's implicit, complicit, whether you know or you don't know. And so just controlling the mediums of information that I allow to interact with me, and I don't always do the best job of that, and it's a daily refining practice. But I just encourage young people, like, define yourself, chart your own course, be able to learn how to distinguish ideas that are original and your own, and that's from the source energy, from the Most High, from God, from like your purpose, versus like programs that like governments, agendas, intelligence agencies, you know what I mean, like media, like set out for you to follow in order to maintain the status quo and keep the control of the world in very few hands. This Big Prezi, we love you. Big federal president, you know what time it is. Big federal president, the biggest. Big Prezi, meet with the most presidents. And since everybody talking about Captain Troy, I want to say this. I was out in Addis Ababa, tapped in. Hey, you Tom, you could verify this, all verified. It is what it is. I think that the unifying governing bodies of Africa is a mess and just talk and waste time. And I found that like I enjoyed my time on the streets, connecting with the youth, then like meeting with like ministers and dignitaries that just like talk and really just in it for themselves. And I respect Captain Traore. That's the big brother right there. And I will hope that the world will support the brother. But I want to say like I was out there in January specifically to tap in with the big homie, and the plug kind of fell through. So it is what it is. But we gotta stop the fake internet activism. Like a lot of y'all, y'all don't even support the activists in your backyard. Y'all need to be tapped into the legislation and policy making that's happening right in front of you. Like when we had our case, we was in the federal courtroom. We had to make them respect us. We had to G up bigger than that. It was all types of situations going on. You know what I mean? We could have made one slip here, and you don't want the U.S. Marshals. You're not gonna outrun them. You're not gonna outbeat them. And our support was rather limited. Thank God for crypto, and thank God for the grace and mercy, my family, my mom in particular, because it was really, really tough to be the $1 trillion corporation that's invested in by the U.S. government. Like that's not a fair fight. Like no one won that fight before, and by the grace of God, we was able to do what we do. But the reality of it is like, we had to be our own support, our own activism. We had to believe in ourselves that we was bigger than, bigger than any systems, bigger than anything. We was connected, and God made us to be the visionaries, to be the vanguard. It's like we Ramses now. Like we the pharaohs, we that 25th, 26th dynasty. Like that's us right now. We the civilization architects. We the archetype. You follow me? Like it's us right now in this moment. Like we are the ones that shape the future of humanity. We are the ones that decide like sovereignty and reshape territorial maps and decide territorial integrity. Because all of these lines and these nations that have been drawn in the last couple hundred years, it's like, they just made this shit up and they didn't care. We the ones that's like, all right, cool, with integrity, let's really understand from a spiritual, economic, social, political, geopolitical framework, from which to optimize the future of humanity in a sustainable way, incorporating technology, incorporating finance, incorporating culture, incorporating the arts, incorporating all of the things that, we really excel in. And that's about all I gotta say. I know I said a lot, and people like bite-sized, dumbed-down content, and, Trillions in my 40s. You get that on the album of Billions in my 30s. Go back and listen to Millions in my 20s. Really highlight this level of thinking, this level of genius and innovation was really cultivated. And we found a way from which to cultivate our genius and our innovation with respect to the demands of the capital market, which require liquidity. And that's exactly why we shot this in the ocean, because we want you to know it's a highly liquid situation.